Hi students, let's talk about the things that we know about this problem. Let f of x is equal to 3x plus 5 and g of x is equal to 5x plus 13. What values of x represent the region where the graph of y equals f of x lies above the graph of y equals g of x? So I read through the problem once, and one thing that sticks out to me is that I have y equals f of x and y equals g of x in my problem. That's something that's written in what we would call function notation. And they're telling me that I have y is equal to a function of x, and y is equal to a function g of x. And we give them different letters just because they represent two different equations. Another thing that I noticed is at the beginning, they have f of x is equal to 3x plus 5, and g of x is equal to 5x plus 13. So in looking at these two problems, I'm looking at the form that they're written in, and since f of x is equal to y and g of x is equal to y, these are all in the form y equals mx plus b. And when they are in that form, we can say that these are equations for lines. They are linear. They're linear for a couple of reasons. One of them is that they have the constant rate of change, or slope. The slope is constant throughout. So we've got y is equal to 3x plus 5. I've got a slope of 3. And I have y is equal to 5x plus 13. My slope is 5. So what that's telling me is if I compare the two, I have a 3 and a 5. 5 is bigger than 3, so that means that my graph is steeper for the g of x problem and a little bit flatter for the f of x problem. And since they have different slopes, which I'm going to write down here, different slopes, it means that the lines cross or intersect. So I've got one line that's a little bit flatter, one line that's a little bit steeper, and they're not drawn to scale. And I want to go through and label which line I think is which. So if I'm looking at the steep graph, or the steeper slope, that's my g of x problem. So I'm going to label g of x on that line, and I'm going to do that at both ends of that line because that's going to help me in solving. The next thing that I'm going to do is label the other line, and that one has f of x. So I'm going to look for some key words, some context to the problem. And what I notice at the very end is they're saying where the graph of y equals f of x lies above the graph of y equals g of x. So if I'm looking for what's above, I am looking at the left-hand side of the graph has f of x above g of x. On the right-hand side, g of x is above f of x. So what I'm trying to do with the problem is anywhere that it says above, above means that it's greater than. So another symbol that I could write is I could write it as f of x is greater than g of x. And I can write g of x is greater than f of x on the right-hand side. And I can compare which one matches the question that they asked me. And that will give me a way to begin to solve the problem. I hope this is helpful for you. Have a good day.